everyone, we're Donna and Casey, and we've been together for a long time. We haven't been everywhere, but it is on our list.
So, we bought a 2019 ProMaster cargo van. I outfitted it to a camper van, and with our dog Frankie, we hit the road. Thanks for joining us on our adventure. Getting ready to do a hike here at Lake Dan Preserve, about a 3-mile hike. And I hope that buzzard is not here for me. Donna's not able to go with me on the hike today. She is still under the weather. She has a bad head and chest cold. It's laid her up for a while, several days now. Hopefully tomorrow she'll be able to get out and we'll find something fun to do to make up for her missing this hike. I hope we see a lot of interesting birds here. That's another of the great things about Florida. Not the alligators, but the birds. Water levels are really low here. They've had a very dry summer. Those of you familiar with the state know that in the summer, almost every afternoon, there's a torrential downpour. And then it cools down a little bit. But that didn't happen this summer. So the water levels are really low. Uh-oh, there's a gate ahead. That's not good. Well, I saw this locked gate and I thought my hike was over before it started, but it looks like we can still get through this way. Now, what does this sign say? I know this is footpath only. No bikes are allowed down here. Hiking spree, Hillsborough County hiking spree. I like it. All right, the hike is still on. I like the looks of this trail right off the bat. A little tunnel of Spanish moss to hike through. I was just curious about this tall yellow grass, so I looked it up, and it goes by many different names. One popular name is whiskey grass, and they used to make brooms out of it. And in Australia, they call it American whiskey grass because it was used as packing material or something, and now it's all over Australia too. So I was wondering if I'd see any wildlife out here, and I do see tracks that look like deer tracks, but I'm not sure. I think boar tracks look very similar. They're both hooves, cloven hooves. And then I've seen several of these little animal trails. I don't know if you can tell, but there's a little animal trail here. And if we follow this little animal trail, it comes out into a clearing. This might be an old bed for the boar because they root up the ground really bad. So we might run into some boar out here if we're lucky. I heard something growl off in the distance just a minute ago. It sounded like a bear. So who knows? We're not that far from civilization, so I would be surprised, but civilization has been encroaching on their natural habitat, so it's not uncommon to spot wild animals close to civilization anymore. We were staying at a campground a few weeks back. They actually had hunting. And so they had boar hunting seasons. I'm seeing some tracks, and again, I'm just not sure if they look like deer tracks, but the wild boar tracks we saw at the other campground, the other wildlife management area, water management area, they looked smaller. So I'm not sure, but see, there's one right there. Looks like a deer track, but I'm thinking it's a wild boar track. They would love this area. All right, let's go find them. I think I'm getting close to a lake here. Oh yeah, there it is. Maybe we'll spot a gator. I don't think these trails are as well defined on the map. The map shows a few intersections, but I have been by at least a half a dozen intersections that I know aren't even on the map. There'll be four-way intersections, trails continuing in four different directions, and it doesn't show a single one like that on the map. So not many, but it's checking me out. What are you doing? It's my lake. Now, could that be a gator out there? In that shadow? Looks like a gator. If he would move, I'd know for sure. That was an alligator. He's not in the water anymore. He's laying up on the bank now. I don't know if you can see him or not, but he's there. Alligator. At least I got to see some wildlife. Almost back to the van. Here are some sandhill cranes up ahead. Two of them. They mate for life. Usually see them in pairs or flocks. If you come out to a hike at Dan Lake Trail, you might want to bring a pencil and piece of paper where you can make your own map where you go when you go out, so you'll know how to get back. This was going to be a 3-mile hike today. It ended up being a 7.6-mile hike because I took off on trails that weren't even on the map. But it was a great hike, great exercise. Really enjoyed being out here.
What's your story? What's your sign? It's like we're twin flames in a different life.